Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. Now, this one, I had a request for this quite some time ago from BumbleJumper82, and it's not that I've been putting this off. It's just that I've been trying to find the best way of actually doing this figure. So I think I found it. My thoughts, I guess, are going to be less favourable than his because he absolutely adores this figure. So this is a review, ladies and gentlemen, on a figure that is a testament to trying to have too many ideas at once and then not following through on any single one of them. Okay, so this is a review, ladies and gentlemen, for Generation 1 Quickswitch.
Right, okay, so here is Quickswitch in his, believe it or not, we're going to start off with this mode. This is his laser pistol mode, which, you know, I mean, you've got your little sight just there, even though that doesn't clear, really, this bit just here. He's got double-barreled laser guns. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch of the imagination. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can hold it. You can hold it like you would. I mean, I tend to pull this section down just here to act like as a trigger base. I mean, I tend to. I used to when I was a kid. I've not touched this for fucking years. In fact, this is the first time I've touched it since I bought the fucker a couple of years ago. So you can wrap your finger around that, and you can actually hold it like you would a gun. But there is a certain amount just here which relies heavily upon the imagination of the person who's playing with it. And this is the problem with Quickswitch, and in fact, actually, Six Shot as well. Trying to fit so many different alt modes in, as well as the robot mode. Every single one of them, including the robot mode, is in some small way compromised for the sake of every other mode. So nothing. You got a couple that are kind of cool, but essentially not a single one of the alt modes actually works, including the robot mode. Actually, not one of them actually works because of every other mode they tried cramming in. So, if you're willing to stretch your imagination as far as this and believe this is a gun, okay? This is a laser pistol. Yeah, there we are. Oh, fuck's sake. I don't really know. See, Ed wanted me to review this, right? And I'm not really entirely sure what I'm supposed to say about this figure. I kind of like this figure because I had this figure as a kid. Looking at it objectively through the eyes of a 42-year-old, I do question some of the choices that I made as a child, and what I thought was acceptable as a child. I don't think this was really. I don't know. Maybe I'm about to give this figure far too much shit for what it actually deserves. But at the same time, this is kind of bollocks. This is kind of bollocks. But there we are. That is the laser pistol mode. Okay, so now we're going to transform him into hovercraft mode. Okay, so for hovercraft mode, we want to take off these guns just here. We want to stick away his little knobbly knob. Okay, open that up, flip that in, close that. Bring this section down. We want to extend this part, bring it back out to the forward section just here. Split this underside section under like this. And then put the little red guns in the two ports at the top. Okay? And that is Alt Mode 2, ladies and gentlemen. That is his hovercraft mode. It's awkward. It's awkward as fuck, but it works a lot better than his laser pistol mode by a small margin. Now, I had this wrong when I was a kid, right? So I'm actually kind of glad I'm doing this review because I'm learning something new as an adult, right? 42 years down the line. I thought when I was younger that the hovercraft mode was you're supposed to have this section and bring it up to the back, right? And then he could do his hovercrafting like that, which then leaves this problem down the bottom. I think I actually used to do his hovercraft like this, believe it or not, and had that bit just at the front. But now apparently the way you're supposed to do it is that like that, this underneath, and just sit. And then he does actually sit very, very pretty on both those little extended parts. Despite that, despite the fact that this is a more acceptable alt mode, if you will, to his laser pistol mode, there are still glaring problems with this. For example, it does still kind of look like a robot folded up. And the reason I say that is because this section just here, you can clearly see these are feet tabs or whatever, and it's just upside down. It's I mean, the lines are perfect. The lines are straight and everything like that on it. That's not the issue. It's just that it's a box. It's a box with a couple of guns on it. So again, imagination is required for this. Okay, but you know, it's not the shittest thing in the world, but it is by far certainly not the greatest. Okay, so that's alt mode 2 of 6, right? Remember, he's a 6 mode, 5 alt modes and a robot mode. Okay, so that's mode number 2. So now we're going to take Quickswitch here to his drill tank mode. Okay, now so for this we want to take the guns off again. You'll be doing this a lot, believe it or not. We're going to flip open this part again. We're going to take out his little drill knob again. All right. So drill knob extended. Okay. Then we want to collapse this section in, just like that. Then we're going to get ready for it. Right. Focus, you fucker. Get ready for it. We are going to turn the bastard over. Right. He's now turned over. I think this is the right way of doing it. Then we are going to bring this part back and then bring that section up like that. Okay. And then these sections just here, fold them down. See, that part is actually kind of clever. It has got a hidden part that you didn't necessarily immediately see. Do the same on both sides, right? Like that and like that. And then these guns will go in the top like this. And ladies and gentlemen, there is his drill tank mode. Now, if you have a brand new specimen of this, these are supposed to sit flush like this perfectly, okay? But mine are loose as fuck, so yeah, not brilliant. And he's not a dark teal turquoise green. He's a very light version of that colour. And my one's got a bit of yellow on it as well, but you know, that's to be expected. The figure is about 150 years old, but whatever. This is his drill tank mode, ladies and gentlemen. I can see a lot of you starting to lose the ability to suspend disbelief here. But you know, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, I mean, I'd say this is one of the probably more successful modes. Even though again, he hasn't really turned into. If it wasn't for these like little fold down panels that had wheels etched into them, right, and a little bit of grooving just here, you wouldn't have thought this turned into a drill tank at all, would you? If it wasn't for these, right, it just looked like a compact nothing, and it still kind of looks like a compact nothing even with that. Okay, so yes, take it in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the drill tank mode. Okay, filming the fucking gallery, like shooting the photo gallery for this for Facebook is going to be a right laugh. So there we are. That is drill tank mode. Again, so far, I still say the laser pistol is losing at this stage. But it's going to get a lot worse in the next one. Okay, it's going to get a lot worse in the next one. And the next one is where you actually have to mildly transform the bloody thing. Okay, because things are going to start fucking happening here to a degree. Okay, not any degree of success, but things start moving. Okay, so next we're going to take him to his what should we take him to? Let's take him to his flying puma mode. Right? Okay, yes, that's right. You heard me right. I said flying puma. Okay, so to do this, we're going to take the guns off again. Right? They will come into play for something else. We are going to collapse in all these panels on the sides. Okay. We are then going to what shall we do? Let's bring this thing down like that. Get that out of the way. We're going to turn him over again. Okay. Oh yes, but I think he wants to go this way actually. And then we're going to start breaking these apart. I think that's the way to do it. No, it has to go the other way. Right. Okay, like that. So we're going to get those sections like this. Okay. Again, not really looking like anything. That's absolutely okay. You should be expecting this. Then we're going to bring these forward. Okay. This little white section just here. Okay, we're going to bring that down. Is that, yeah, we're going to bring it down to about there. Actually, one more probably wouldn't hurt. Okay, so we've got that. Then these sections just here, we want to pull these out. Now, these can be quite tricky. We're going to pull them out to about there. Hold on. This is where I need external help with there we are. With a pair of tweezers, believe it or not. That didn't work. Okay, bring that out. And fold that back in. There we are. Right, okay. So we've got these little animal feet right just there. Then this section, bring underneath and split. Because believe it or not, that will be the winged thing that we were talking about. I want to put these guns back on the drill part. Okay. And that will be his tail. Wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. And then pop up this section just here. And then extend the animal's head. Close it back up. And there, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, bear with me. We're almost through this. We're doing so well, right? That is his winged puma mode. To a degree, I can sort of see what they were trying to go with. If these parts had extended out as well, then maybe not. The animal's head really does help here because the rest of this is awkward. I mean, ow. This looks painful. This looks like a painful position to be in. If I was a six changer, this would be the last fucking mode that I would employ, right, under any circumstances, because the back pain and hip pain there is real. Okay, that is the winged puma mode. His little wing is just underneath there, right, with his hovercraft on his back, his fucking hunchback, right. That's there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the winged puma. Don't tell me it's not, because it is, apparently, right? What was that? One, two, that was mode 4, right? 4 out of 6. I'd love to hear your comments on this. So I'm sitting here drinking tea to take the sting out of this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I've got thoughts, and I know this is my review, but I kind of feel like I should be keeping a lot of these thoughts to myself. I think possibly the laser pistol has gone up a notch in my estimation. Now this is now the official. This is now the worst. This is now the worst mode. This is rotten to the core. Again, as you might have noticed, a running theme, ladies and gentlemen. Every single mode has been, at best, at absolute best, it's been, all right. Every single one of these modes has been massively compromised for the sake of all the others. Not one of these modes works 100%. Prove me wrong on that. Please prove me wrong. But we're not finished, ladies and gentlemen. We are not finished, ladies and gentlemen, by a long shot. Well, I say by a long shot. I'm going to try and wrap this up as quickly as possible. We're not done yet, because now we are looking at Quickswitch's jet mode, fighter jet mode. Okay, so right. So for this, we want to take these fucking guns off again. We want to open this section up, collapse in the animal head, right? Close that up. Get rid of his cocktail as well. God, this is something I noticed on the one I had as a kid. These panels, right, are always really fucking difficult to open. Fold that way, close that up, right? So now you've got that, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. We are going to close away the animal legs, like this. And the animal feet at the front, okay? Oh, Jesus. Right, so now we want to basically line everything up again, I think. Maybe, no, actually. We want to do this. This is a little bit different, granted. God, things. This is the thing. The clearance issue on this. Things really do get in the way. Right. Hold on. This part needs to sit at the back just like this. Okay. Then you're going to bring these parts up. And then you're going to bring these parts like this. Okay. So you're left with, again, pretty much a solid block of fuck all. Right. Then bring down the little landing gear. Like, oh, looks like, yeah, forgot about that. Bring this section forward, as this will now apparently serve as the cockpit, right? Focus, you fuck. And then bring up these sections again, right? And now, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen. Put the bloody guns on, and this time in tiny little holes just on the side here. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is Quickswitch's jet mode. Now, again, I can just about suspend disbelief on this one, only because you've pulled these two sections out and put guns on the side of them, right? That is a jet mode. Surely the jet mode would have been better having the cockpit up here, right? This fucking thing, but no, this is the jet mode, ladies and gentlemen. A futuristic jet mode, let's just say, right? Because, again, it does look like a squashed up piece of nothing. If you hadn't pulled the landing gear down and put guns on the side of it, I would have had a hard time believing that this was supposed to be a jet. But it's not the worst mode, is it? It's not brilliant. Again, it's not fucking brilliant by a country mile, but it's not the worst. It's just awkward. That's the thing that I can say about every single one of Quickswitch's modes, is they're awkward. But there we are. Yeah, that is the jet mode, spaceship mode, whatever the fuck you want to call this. Got a decent enough wingspan, I suppose, even though the wings are actually quite small. It's all right, but it's nothing. It doesn't pop, does it? It's nothing special. It's just like, oh, I can see parts of the other modes there, or I can see parts of the robot, or I can see. That's the problem with every single one of these. But again, this isn't as bad as the winged puma mode. So there we are. So we're now we're over 15 minutes into this review. So now we're just going to take this fucker to robot mode. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. So why don't we start by, oh, I don't know, taking the guns off again. Right. No wonder fucking people used to lose the parts of these things, really. We're going to collapse in what was supposed to be the cockpit. We're going to collapse in the landing gear. Okay. We're going to fold in these little parts just here. Once again, we're back to a little box of nothing. Okay. Now, we're going to extend these sections just here. Bear in mind, this is the first time, right? This extension has been employed throughout all 6 modes, right? And that's the legs. Okay. Now, we're going to bring this section out again. So for that, I'm going to take my trusty pair of tweezers. And we are going to bring this all the way out. Okay? All the way out. Yes, because believe it or not, they did go a lot further than the Puma mode suggested. Alright? Then we're going to bring these sections down, and they will form the arms. Okay? Because apparently these little things just here, they're supposed to be hands. Alright? We want to bring this section, these blue sections, back. Okay? And then they will connect together around the back like that. Right? That's the back of the head. Stand him up. Let's bring the camera up a little bit. There we go. And then, one of the few times they ever got this right, bring that up. Face reveal. There we are. And then put these little guns again in these holes, which are supposed to be his hands. Angle the arms a little bit if you want. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is Generation 1 Quickswitch in robot mode. And fuck me, what a robot mode that is. Now, I've never been able to work out one, right, let's get the arms out of the way. Right, let's talk about this body. Right. surely there could have been a sliding mechanism here, just bring these legs down a little bit. Because what is this supposed to be? Is this supposed to be beer belly? Is this supposed to be some sort of really serious hernia? Or is he supposed to be hung like a fucking horse, right? Who knows? In fact, we could do that, couldn't we? How puerile has this review just got, ladies and gentlemen? There we are. There is something very, very, very awkward in this robot mode, and it's the length of the body from here to here, right, which causes the issue, right? If you'd have been able to pull these legs down 1.5 centimeters, that would have gone a long way to disguise, to disguising what an awkward cunt this is, right? But no, they didn't do that. They just screwed them into the side there, and like go fuck yourselves. Really, that is the overall theme here. It's not the worst robot mode. Actually, it's one of the worst robot modes, I think. I mean, there is discernible detail. That's supposed to be a leg. That's supposed to be an arm. That's supposed to be a head. I have no idea what is going on here. This part here is the alarming part. I can just about buy this being a chest. Maybe it would have been nice if this could have gone up a little bit further and this could have sat up here. But then you would have had a real problem here that would have been even more impossible to ignore. But that is Quickswitch. Now, in terms of articulation, he can bend his legs like this. He can move his arms a little bit like that. He can do that, basically. Apart from that, he's got a little bit of toe articulation as well for transformation purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Generation 1 Quickswitch. He's not good. He's not... hang on, let me see if I can get a close-up of him just there. Yeah, not brilliant. Not brilliant at all. But, I mean... I don't know, at the same time, I've seen worse. I really have seen worse. And... this isn't a challenge to Hasbro to go, oh, well, if you thought this was bad, go on top it. I'm not saying that at all. But it would have been nice to have had one mode out of all this, whether it be the robot, whether it be any of the others, right? It would have been nice to have had one mode that was 100% successful, and none of them are. That is the problem with the Six Changer. Now, I've got massive issues with Six Shot as well. I'm never going to do a review on Six Shot before anyone asks, because my one's got 2 left wings, and therefore won't transform into, I'd say, 3/4 of the things he's supposed to transform into. So, unless I can get it fixed, swapped out, or whatever, I'm never doing a review on him. But he suffers from exactly the same problem. And that is the fact that, none of the modes work. None of the modes work. And it's a shame. It's a wonderful idea. I mean, it's batshit fucking mental is what it is. But sadly, it's not, it doesn't work. If you'd have tried making a 4-changer, for example, 3 alt modes and a robot mode, that would have been a lot more successful because you wouldn't have had to compromise quite as much. Or actually, no, back then they probably would have done exactly that, wouldn't they? You know what I'm trying to say. The intention there, I guess, was to make a toy that was exciting, and I guess maybe when I was 8, it kind of was exciting. Looking back on it, I can't really see why, because it's asking a child. It's asking a lot of a child, really. How far can we stretch our imagination? Because we didn't put the work in to make any one of these modes work. Basically, that's my feelings on it. I know some people might disagree, and they say that Six Shot is possibly one of the greatest things ever. I know Ed loves him. That's why I'm doing this bloody review. Ed, I hope you're happy. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, that is my thoughts on the Autobot Six Changer Quickswitch. Thank you for watching this headache of a review. I will be back next week with more Transformers reviews, more other shit that I'm doing. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I don't know, I'm not sure what the other stuff is. Leave a like, that's it. Yeah. I'm not very good at selling myself. That's what the problem is. I will be back next week with somebody else. Until we see each other again, thank you for watching this. Take care.